My narcissistic mother hits on all of my boyfriends because she thinks I don't deserve to have a handsome man. Here's the thing about my mother. She's gorgeous. She knows it, and she uses it as a weapon. Her biggest target? My boyfriends. She has a sick, twisted belief that I don't deserve a handsome man. She sees me as a rival, a younger version of herself that she has to constantly one-up. And for years, I just let it happen. Every time I brought a new guy home, she would make it a competition. She'd dress up in her tightest clothes, flirt relentlessly, and tell him how much better she was than me. It started as small, annoying comments. "Oh, she's so lucky to have you, you're so handsome." Or, "You're too good for her, you know that?" But it escalated. My last boyfriend, Chris, was a good man, and I thought he was different. He was smart and funny and kind. But my mother, let's call her Carol, decided he was her new project. She started texting him behind my back, accidentally, running into him at his favorite coffee shop, and telling him all about how I was too immature for him. I didn't find out until much later, but she had been showing him photos of her from her youth, photos of her in bikinis, and telling him stories of all the men she had rejected. She was trying to convince him that I was a pale imitation of her and that he was making a mistake by being with me. It was all a game to her, a way to prove that she was still the most desirable woman in the room. Chris, to his credit, was starting to get weirded out. He confronted me about it, and I was mortified. I had to admit that this was just my mother's thing, her sick little hobby. He was understandably confused and uncomfortable, and a few weeks later, he broke up with me. I was devastated. But this time, it was different. This time, I wasn't just sad. I was furious. This wasn't about a guy. This was about a pattern. My mother was deliberately sabotaging my happiness, and I was finally done. I knew I couldn't confront her directly. She would just deny it, turn it around on me, and play the victim. No, this was going to be a quiet, carefully planned revenge. I decided to use her narcissism against her. I knew she was a social climber, obsessed with appearances and status. So, I started planting seeds. I started talking to my dad about how worried I was about her. "She's so stressed out, Dad. She's talking about going on a diet. She's been mentioning how she's not as young as she used to be." My dad, who had been oblivious to her antics, was concerned. I also started casually bringing up her age to her friends. "Oh, she's doing so well for her age, isn't she? I'm so proud of her for keeping up with all these young people." It was subtle, but it was enough to get her attention. She started to get paranoid. She'd ask me if I was talking about her behind her back. I'd just look at her with wide, innocent eyes and say, "Of course not, Mom. I'm just telling everyone how amazing you are." The climax came at my aunt's birthday party. The whole family was there. My mom, of course, was the center of attention. She was telling a story about some guy who had hit on her at a coffee shop. It was all a lie, of course, but she was eating up the attention. Everyone was laughing and nodding along, and she was basking in the glory. That's when I made my move. I walked over to the table where her friends were sitting. "Isn't it amazing how confident Mom is?" I said, a smile on my face. Even after all she's been through. Her friends looked at me, confused. "What do you mean?" one of them asked. "Oh, you didn't hear?" I said, pretending to look shocked. "She's been struggling with her age lately. She's been so worried about getting older, and it's been hard on her. She's been seeing a therapist and everything." The smiles on their faces disappeared. My mom's face went white. She knew I had just exposed her biggest insecurity. She had been so busy trying to prove she was younger and more desirable than me that she had completely overlooked the fact that she was the one with the problem. Her friends started to look at her with pity and concern, not admiration. Her mask had fallen. She tried to stammer out a denial, but the damage was done. I just smiled. A small, knowing smile. She had spent all her energy trying to hurt me, and in the end, I had used her own insecurities as a weapon against her. She was now the one who looked old and desperate, and I hadn't had to say a single mean thing. The revenge was a quiet, cold, and utterly satisfying triumph.